Beginner's tote bag. I have 2 pieces of fabric, a main color, this red, and then this beige color will be the inside of the fabric. Both of them are cut 36 by 17, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and put our lining, a soft weight, middle weight, and a fusible lining on the red fabric. Okay, let me do that. See, the interfacing is on it. There we go. Okay, now that we have the interfacing on the fabric, we are going to put right sides together so that we can sew the lining and the fabric, main fabric. So we're going to sew this, and we're going to always leave an opening. I think we're going to leave the opening on the side. What color fabric? Okay. So here we go. There we go. And we're going to iron it real good because right now it's a little wrinkled because I ironed it earlier, but it has been sitting for a while. So we'll iron it one more time. See, it's good to iron.
What's the dimensions?
36 by 17. 36 this way, 17 this way. 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. This is a 5-inch square. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. We're going to go ahead and iron it since I just finished ironing the other one. Turn it over, one side, okay, and then the other side. This is one of the fastest making bags I've ever done. And then we'll turn it over on the other side. And the other side right here. I'm just turning it over one time, but if you want to, you can always turn it over again to make it a little bit more secure. So we're going to go ahead and sew this together. And we say we're going to leave an opening. So I think we're going to leave that opening about right here so we can turn it. Right there. Going to have to be a big opening, just big enough to turn. So I'm going to start right here. Okay, here we go. You notice I did not backstitch. The reason why I didn't backstitch is because once we do this and turn this over, we're going to top stitch the whole thing. Changing the size a little bit because I made several, so I'm making this one just a little bit smaller than the one that you will be making today. Just to change it. So if you notice, that's why the seam is changed. Otherwise, I would be using a 1/4-inch seam. And you can see right now I'm using a 5/8-inch seam. The bag that we're going to be making, we're going to be using a 1/4-inch seam. This one is a 5/8-inch seam because I'm trying to make it a little bit smaller. Sometimes we have to trim the edges. So it'll be right. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I might need to put a new blade in there. Make sure that your rotary blades are sharp. I got a whole package of rotary blades, and here I have a rotary cutter which with blades that are not sharp. So I'm gonna have to get some more blades out. Pieces at the same time, so they'll be the same dimensions. These were cut at 2 different times, so using supposed to be the same dimensions, but you can see they weren't. Okay, so then trim the corners. Trimmed. We're going to turn it over. You remember the opening that we had? You can see the white thread in the bobbin. See it on the back. And now I'm going to turn it over. As the iron heats up, I am going to go ahead and use these little pushers to make sure my corners are out right now, okay? That corner looks much better. Let's see. Oh, look at that. There. There we have those corners. I'm going to go ahead and iron this. There we go. It looks beautiful when you're ironing. That's the good thing about sewing, is that when you're ironing, it looks like it just looks, even though it's not finished, it really comes out looking good. Now that we have ironed this, we're going to go ahead and top stitch all around. Okay, now we're just going to top stitch this. I'm going to go ahead and top stitch at about 1/8 of an inch. But you're welcome to top stitch it whatever way you want to, whatever length you want. Top stitching always looks so good. Makes whatever you're working on looks a lot better when it's finished. It's a good finishing stitch. and go all around all four of the sides. Pivot right here. The left side. And that's it. Okay, see, it's all top stitch. And now I'm going to show you what we do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it up and we're going to find the center. Put it in half and I'm going to go ahead and mark it so I will know where that half is. Know where that center is. I want to make sure I have the center. I'm going to go ahead and use chalk. Normally I don't use chalk, but it's easier when you're just learning to use something that will show you where you are. So I am now going to fold at the center. Just going to gather it up like this and gather it up. Gather from the center, see, right in the center. Gather, keep gathering it up, right there. You see we're gathering it up. Okay, and here we are. I'm going to clip this because now you're going to find out what we're going to use that 5-inch square for. So I'm going to clip this over here and keep that right there in the center. I didn't know I was going to be using my red clips on my red bag. There we go. So I'll clip. Changing the bobbin thread because I am going to now sew mirror sides of the 5-inch square. There we go. When I say mirror sides, I mean sides that are right across from each other. Yep. Now I'm going to take the 5-inch square and the sides that I've already sewn, we're going to put them on the side. And the other side, we're going to turn it right side down. So right sides will be facing each other. Remember I told you that's the most important thing, is that right sides always face each other when you're sewing. And we're going to put it right in the middle. You remember how we know it's the middle? We have the chalk. Turn it over so you can see how we're going to sew it together. We can either use the clips again, since we already have them here, or we could use the pins. That's why I put the pins there, so you could see them. But the clips are just as good. And there, we have it all clipped together. I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and we're going to sew it. Right side. can see the right side of the fabric. We're going to go ahead and lower that. Okay. Don't put the lower the needle down so we make sure that it's tight. And we're going to go ahead and sew it. See? Make sure that we do not get the base of the bag in the rip. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to reverse because it's important that we reverse here because we're going to have to turn this particular band because it now becomes a band because it's going to be banded around the bag, around the top of the bag. So here we go, sewing it. Stop it. You can use a tack down stitch. Tack down. See? And okay. And now that we've done that, we are going to now turn this band right sides out. See, we're just going to flip it over. See, we're flipping it over. Turn it over. Almost completely over. And make sure we push it back to the center as we turn it over. See, it's almost completely out, completely turned. We'll make sure we put it back to the center of the bag. And here we have it. And so now we're going to do the sides of the bag. And you say, where are the sides? So we're going to go ahead and you can make the opening as wide or as short at the top as you want. One of my co-seamstress likes her opening about 6 inches from the top. Sometimes I make it a little bit smaller. Let's see how I'm going to do it today. We might just do, how about 5 inches? 5 inches from the top, just for today. She's probably gonna be talking about me because I didn't do it for the 6 inches that she likes. Since I'm doing it on one side, I guess we'll do it on the other side. And since I'm here, I guess we'll do that 5 inches right there. About using clips. Clips have a right side and a wrong side. The side that you go against the sewing machine when you're sewing is always the clear side because it is smooth. The other side is humped and you cannot sew from there. But you sew from the smooth side. So I'm going to start sewing this, and if you will notice, I'll be sewing from the smooth side. We are going to go right here and reverse because it's really from that stitch. Okay. If you notice, I went on and left the bobbin thread as red and the top stitch as red. The sewing stitch, because it becomes part of the decor on the bag. Start from the bottom again instead of from the top. I like to start from the bottom because we're going to need the bottom to be straight. You can always adjust using the band that we put around the top. But we want the bottom to be straight because we will be making the bottom of the bag. This is the side of the bag. Now we're going to close up the bottom ties that we just did. Now become the front of the bag. So we're going to make sure that we can center this together. That's why we made sure that we started at the bottom. Put that right there so we can see where we are. Now I'm going to do the bottom of the bag. Go back stitch because we want this to be closed. And there we go again. See how easy that was to remove that clip? Because it's flat at the bottom. And you say, which is better, a pin or a clip? It depends on what you're sewing and what you feel comfortable at this particular time. And it's going to take the machine a little bit to get over this point, but it will. There, see, it got right over there. So here we are. We have a finished bag. Sometimes you might want a corner to your bag to make it stand up. And if we're going to do that, then we would do something like this. And we would sew it right across. And I would say we would sew it about 2 inches from the tip. So the tip is right here. So we'd sew that right across here. And that's where we use the chalk again. Just see, we want 1, 2. I'm going to use that chalk. Hold on just 1 minute while I get the ruler aimed. Okay, so here we go. We made a little point right there. So from the point to a 2 inch. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the ruler and the chalk. So I'll know where I started and where I stopped. There we go. So here we go. We'll clip that right there. Okay, let's do the other side. I'm going to open up the seam like we did on the other one. Do that 2 inch from the tip. And we're going to go ahead and use the chalk again. And we're going to sew it straight across. Let's do the other side. I'll make sure we open the seam up. And now the bag is finished. You can clip this off and do a, what do we call them? The overcast stitch just to cover it, but it's not necessary. Let me show you how the bag is finished, how the bag looks now. Your bag is completely finished. There's that corner, that square at the end that we just made that allows the bag to stand up. You can see that? The bag can now stand up. And here's your tote bag. A beginner tote bag.
So pretty.
Isn't it pretty? It's standing because of the corners that we just did. Some of my friends put buttons down the front, and others like to put pins down the front. So you can do whatever you wish. Started, but you can see once we sewed it, it looks like it might be a little bit more. But the good thing about this bag is that you can always turn it over and finish it as much as you want. But I'd say put a beautiful brooch right there, and you're okay. Get the, I had made a bow.